Each year on this day, April 22nd, we celebrate Earth Day as a reminder of the land's value. This morning, Louis Dortch joins us live to explain how you can take part here in the Black Hills. Hey, Louis, good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Elizabeth. And guys, did you know that the first ever Earth Day was held on April 22nd back in 1970? And on that day, we had over 20 million people across the country. They gathered together for lectures, rallies, even some concerts. You know, now moving forward, 2014, April 22nd, which is today, there's still so many things you can do in support of the environment. And one of the things I decided to do was plant a tree. There are so many benefits to planting a tree. Trees can clean the air by absorbing greenhouse gases such as CO2 and then releasing oxygen back into the atmosphere. And did you know that in 1 year, an acre of trees can provide enough oxygen for 18 people? Now the thing is, trees need to be alive in order to do this, and given my skill, or let's say lack thereof at planting, I'm not taking any chances. That's why I went to the experts for some help.
Well, the first thing you need to do is be aware of where the root flare begins, okay? That's where the trunk ends and the roots start to flare out. That's where the depth of your soil should be. A common mistake is that people plant their trees way too deep. They think they have to dig a big hole, like a 5-foot hole by 10 feet wide, and that's not true.
Okay, got it. Don't make the hole too big. Next, what about preparing the soil?
Most of the time, your trees will be fertilized in the nursery, so if you don't know, don't fertilize. You're better off to have too little fertilizer than too much. Well, if you have very heavy clay soils, then it's okay to amend with either peat moss or compost, mix it half and half with the soil that you have. You do not need to replace all the soil. Your trees need to learn to grow in the soils that we have, so you need to keep the original soil on most of it.
And after the tree is in the ground, it's time to add the mulch.
So after you have your tree planted at the proper depth, then you want to put 4 inches of mulch on the whole area, the whole planting area. You want it to go up to 1/2 inch from the trunk and extend beyond the hole about 1/2 inch. So the whole disturbed area is mulched, 4 inches thick. Okay. And the reason that you use mulch is, number one, it holds in moisture and it adds organics as it deteriorates.
So then after everything, the final step is to water it. And then Carol said that for the best results, you need to really water the tree really good before you plant it. And then afterwards, after you get in the ground, slowly water it for about 30 minutes and just keep it on. This will really soak and let the roots dig into the ground. Now, I'm here at Sioux Park, and Carol at Rocking Tree Flora was nice enough to donate a tree to us for today. This is a poplar tree, a Highland poplar, and we're going to be planting it here at Sioux Park. I have my bag of mulch, I have the tree, I have a bucket of water over here, I got my gloves, I'm ready to go. So we're going to get this in the ground. Stay with us and we'll see if we can get this thing growing down here. Now stay with us, there's more. Well, welcome back to News Center 1 today, everybody. We're here at Sioux Park for Earth Day. We have our Highland poplar in the ground now, just starting to cover it up. And like I said, I put a nice little base of water underneath, just what Carol told me to do. I guess I know nothing about planting, so I'm just following her instructions to the T. And so one thing she said, not to dig the hole too big. You want to leave about 2 inches above the ground where the root flare is. I found that, and the root flare is about right here, so I need to maybe dig down a little bit, but leave the root flare above the ground. This is just where the tree's been growing its whole life. So I have this and I'm ready to go. Now guys, did you know that actually a tree over its lifetime can produce about $31,000 worth of oxygen, and then it can also produce about $62,000 worth of pollution control. And that's just one tree over the course of its lifetime. So planting just one can make such a huge difference. And then also for today, starting today, the Arbor Day Foundation has teamed up with Black Hills Power, and they're giving away 400 trees to customers for free. And you can go to www.arborday.org/Black Hills Power, and you can get all the information. They'll bring you actually a tree to your house. It's on a first come, first serve basis. So then after we have our tree in the ground, everything's nice and covered up, time to add the mulch. So we got a bag of mulch right here. She said to add about 4 inches of mulch, and mulch is a great moisture controller. It also, as it deteriorates, it puts organics in the ground, guys, and it'll help put some nutrients in the soil, and then it's a great way to tell if your tree needs watered or not. What you can do is you can come here where your mulch is. After you water it, lift up the mulch and look underneath it. If it's wet under there, that means it needs watered. Reverse that. If it's wet under there, it doesn't need water. If it's dried, it does need water. And so then you will put our mulch down about 4 inches, put all around the tree, and you want to keep about 1.5 inches away from the base of the tree and just spread it all over the area, guys. And then after that, we're ready for some water. I have a bucket of water right here. I actually use some of it for the bottom, but we'll just get a little bit in here right now. And I'll go get some more from down at the creek in just a little bit. But guys, here we go. Our Highland poplar down here at Sioux Park, ready to grow. So hopefully, I'm gonna come back and be checking this a lot, but hopefully it'll just take off from here. I followed my instructions.